And he was like, "What is that, Dad?" And his dad just explained to him, "Well, those are testicles, and that's a penis, and that's the seed that comes out. Men sometimes like to doodle when they're using the restroom."
That's cinema, baby.
Running a temporal pincer movement. What? Pincer movement. But not in space. In time. Rumsniff var åkmästningen av. Ja, Seapsnån. Rumsniff. Running a temporal pincer movement.
You're listening to 10Q Radio, and I'm your DJ, Curly Q Brown, here offering $25,000 to anyone who can make it through this podcast. Welcome to the good, the pod, and the ugly. I'm Ryan.
More often.
That was great.
Radio voice.
Yeah, that was nice. Just stay sick, buddy. Yeah, as Curly Q said, we are in season 17 of The Good, the Pod, and the Ugly. We are doing four films by four directors called the 4x4. The theme is hacks. We're on our third director. It's Ron Howard. Woo. I didn't pick him.
Ronnie.
My name's Ken.
I'm Thomas Hedward. My father is Montgomery Hedward.
I'm Ryan.
And we're joined by Jack.
Yeah, who picked Ron Howard?
You're welcome.
Great work, Jack.
Yeah.
I do like how we're covering most of the last 80, 85 years with our director selections.
Yeah, we did. We did a great job.
Instead of the first 85 years of cinema? What are you saying?
Well, cinema has been around for 120 something years. We're obviously not doing anything from the first 40 years. So.
He just means we're covering a whole large swath of Hollywood history. So hacks, we all have our definition of hacks, given that Ron Howard is Jack's pick.
Jack's
Jack,
hack.
What is your definition of a hack, and why did you pick Ron Howard?
So a hack or journeyman director is a director that is not an auteur who writes their own scripts and comes up with their own stuff. It's someone who is a director for hire, you might say, and doesn't have a distinct enough visual or thematic style to be immediately recognized as, oh, this movie is that director as you're watching it. So a hack might be someone where you can watch an entire movie and then at the end, when you see the credits, go, oh, this was directed by that guy? I know that name. Is that good enough?
Yeah, no, hacks is not necessarily a bad thing. Hacks are the directors who fuel Hollywood's bottom line for the last 120 years.
Although in this instance, I think we may have stumbled upon our first bad hack.
Well,
wait.
Whoa.
And also the movie we're covering today, Grand Theft Auto, is co-written by Ron Howard. If written
and
could be
starring.
applied.
And Rance.
Well, and that leads into your second question, which is why did I choose Ron Howard? And when we originally came up with this season, or I think you came up with the season more accurately, I had a kind of a hard time picking a director. Originally, I kind of wanted to go with Martin Campbell, who directed Casino Royale and
Goldeneye.
Another Bond movie, and then just a bunch of other bullshit. He's someone who you would never really know off the top of your head unless you're a movie nerd like you, Ken. Mm-hmm. And I ended up completely by accident watching Grand Theft Auto, and I think I must have missed the first couple minutes because when it ended, I went, "No, that can't be the Ron Howard." Can it? From Arrested Development. I think Arrested Development is the only thing I've known him from as the narrator.
Wow.
But Grand Theft Auto was so. Not to get into reactions 4 minutes in, but it was so terrible that my immediate thought was I have to make Thomas watch this because Thomas is going to hate this movie so much. So I was kind of looking for an excuse to get Thomas to watch Grand Theft Auto, which is how I stumbled upon Ron Howard.
And then you wrote me into rewatching Hillbilly Elegy, which we are pairing it with, and we're talking about next week.
For penance, I am going to watch a Tom Hanks movie. Ryan, I don't know what you're getting out of this season. Maybe you love all of these. Maybe you're going to hate all of them. I don't know.
I think Ryan just said that we may have picked a bad hack this time.
I think he's fascinating. I don't mind watching these movies, but
I'm
not a Ron Howard fan. I also think it's interesting that he's like one of the iconic directors from my childhood, Jack, and for you, he's the guy from Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Jack, if there was ever a man who started off as a boy, it's Ron Howard.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Thomas, do you want to cast I don't know, a velvet net around early Ron Howard for us up to this movie?
What? I don't know what that means. I know Ron Howard as a lesser Spielberg, which is kind of a compliment. He does have his own production company, right? Imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
Ron Howard, as many of us will know, started off as a child actor. His dad, Ron, I'm sorry, Rance Howard, and his mom, not Rance's mom, but Ron Howard's mom, were actors, aspiring actors. Cheryl Howard. No, that's his wife. Damn it. Anyhow, the Howards were an acting family. His dad, Rance, had his acting career kind of cut short just by being enlisted or not being enlisted, but drafted into the Korean War.
Mm-hmm.
But he was able to stay stateside. And their first child, I learned today listening to The Boys, which is not by Garth Ennis. Well, I guess it is, but The Boys is a book that is co-written by Ron Howard and Clint Howard about them.
Wow.
That ends actually with Grand Theft Auto.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
They had an older brother who was stillborn, and then there was Ron, who was born, who.
Thank you for clarifying.
In the interim, he would star in different things like where Frankenheimer got his start in television. It's called something like Playhouse 90.
Yeah, the live theatrical.
And he also starred with Yul Brynner in a movie where prior to that. But he would become most popularly known not through his various bit parts in things like The Twilight Zone and Westerns, but in the Andy Griffith Show, which starred Matlock before he had gray hair or white hair.
Mr. Furley before he got the polyester.
Fucking knots, man.
And then from that bit of nostalgia, Ron Howard would go on to do more nostalgia called Happy Days.
Hey,
he was supposed to be the star, and somehow the Fonz took over.
Hey,
have you seen either of these shows, Jack? Andy Griffith or Happy Days?
No.
Wow.
I'm old enough to have watched the latter.
I've seen the Weezer episode. As I listened to classic rock.
Yeah, I saw Happy Days.
He was shooting Happy Days. He was shooting Happy Days while he made this film.
Yeah.
And he made this film. He started shooting the day after his 23rd birthday, March 2nd, 1977.
And he was somebody who wanted to make movies. He actually wanted to direct his first film before he turned 20. So he as you think like Spielberg as a savant and his early work, like his early TV work, that Columbo, Jesus Christ. And then, Duel and whatnot. Now you can see this guy as a savant, but when you similarly watch Howard, I don't quite see it the same way I see early Spielberg, but Howard definitely has a facility with actors light and a light touch. I think that's where he is his strongest.
And he definitely, by some definitions with this film, made a movie. Like it is a series of moving motion pictures. Pictures.
It's a series of car crashes. It's Roger Corman basically said, keep it PG, have a car crash every 5 minutes. Here's your budget.
Okay, so before I'll go a little bit deeper into this film itself and its background. But in 1977, the only other film that we've covered from that year is The Gauntlet.
Oh, interesting.
Unless we covered Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which I don't think we did we? During Spielberg?
I didn't.
I don't know. We made
it seems like a Jack and Your Uncle coverage if you did, but I wasn't on it.
I wasn't either.
I didn't rewatch it, so if we did cover it, I did not do my research.
this would be the same year as Smokey and the Bandit, which Corman takes credit for launching these type of films, and it'd be the year before Any Which Way But Loose.
Woo. And so, speaking of Smokey and the Bandit, which film am I speaking of? A woman engaged to a man
Okay, very specific.
hooks up with another man, and the parent of the jilted fiance and a bunch of other people chase the two lovers across multiple states, and lots of car crashes and lead paint humor.
I think I've only seen Smokey and the Bandit 2.
One of them has Jackie Gleason, and the other one has Richie Cunningham. That's a big hint. But overall, plot-wise, the setup is extremely similar between both the films. Except Smokey and the Bandit has Burt Reynolds and Sally Field, and they actually get out of the car a couple times. So
Yeah,
Well, they had a budget.
I think
That's a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Not too much of it, but a little bit.
it came out the same year. It's really interesting that
Yeah.
this feels like the Asylum version of Smokey and the Bandit in a lot of ways.
Right.
except for it's too wholesome.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I would say that it's a little too wholesome for that. But here's an interesting thing. Rance, Ron's dad, was on good terms with Burt Reynolds. And I'm pulling this from the book, The Boys. And he was trying to write him a vehicle, pun intended, that then turned into this movie. Because what had happened was, like you said, Ron Howard wanted to direct. He and you could get this from the Montgomery County Library.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out.
It's a double release of Eat My Dust and Grand Theft Auto. Those are the two Ron Howard Corman joints. And so Corman had made Eat My Dust, and it set. I don't know if it set box office records, but it made like $20 million off of a $1 million budget.
Yeah.
Like it was huge, and Ron Howard had points on the movie, and so when he saw what the box offices were doing, he called Corman, and they negotiated him being able to direct a film. Corman wanted to do a follow-up to Eat My Dust. And they'd actually done, one of the things that Corman would do is make up fake posters for movies that might be in the future, like something you might want to make. And the test audience, during like waiting in line for Eat My Dust, really liked the idea of Grand Theft Auto as a title.
Oh.
And so Howard originally came in with, let me see if I could find it, what his pitches were. He wanted to do something like really edgy originally.
Bill Paxton worked as a set decorator on Eat My Dust.
Who did?
Bill Paxton.
Oh, cool.
It looks like Eat My Dust might have been a big influence on Dukes of Hazzard. The car is basically the same, and Ron Howard, for some reason, is wearing a Confederate army hat.
Okay.
Which
And they
would
just-
be the most offensive thing he had been a part of until Hillbilly Elegy.
Spoilers.
Okay, so this is his pitch meeting. I sketched out a few different ideas I developed. One was a suitable, gritty, and provocative noir picture about a detective who cracks a case in a world of snuff films. Movies that depict actual murders. He defines what a snuff film is.
Thank you.
I also pitched a dystopian sci-fi movie in which warring countries, rather than sending troops into battle, resolve their disputes by having teams of futuristic gladiators fight. And yeah, Roger Corman was like, yeah, no, I'm going to pass on all of that. You know what people really like? Grand Theft Auto. Why don't you write a script about that? And so because they wanted to make basically a sequel, like a spiritual sequel, I guess, to Eat My Dust, meaning you're going to get Ron Howard, and you get him in a car, he's going to drive, and things are going to explode. And so it was fortunate that his dad, Rance, had written the script that was supposed to go to Reynolds, that they were able to chop up a little bit, reframe for a kid, and make it more about this young pair of lovers.
Huh?
And that is how we get the movie that we watch for this podcast.
Yeah. And the main character doesn't do anything for 2/3 of the movie. He just sits.
Well,
And
he
the
did
girl
say this is the first
drives.
time I got. Yeah, but did they get to the? And we'll get to the plot in a moment, I guess. Whenever they get to the junkyard, that's the first time Ron Howard like leaves the car in the movie as once he gets in from the very beginning. And
Uh-huh.
part of that was because he was directing. If we think back to our and actor and Leonard Nimoy being like, it's terrible to try and direct yourself and act at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Ron Howard found that out in this film. It's like, I'm never going to act in a film that I'm in again. It's just
I don't know if that might have been the wrong
of,
lesson.
So he would have second unit out doing a lot of the chases and car crashes and those pieces. But what it let him do is after he was able to film his part, then he was just behind the camera. So they stacked the shooting schedule so that he could get through the parts that he's in until they get towards the end where he's needed again in the car.
Yeah.
And so he could be back on set running things.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Jonathan Demme ran into him right before because Jonathan Demme had worked for Corman on, was it Radio Days?
Sure.
And he says, let me actually just say what he said to him. Let me give you a few tips. And then he says that Corman movie is supposed to be fun. So find the fun and don't get caught up in logic or technique. Don't be pretentious. And make your days, meaning make your shooting schedule. And Howard on his first day was behind schedule in the first half of the movie. First half of the day, he was supposed to do like 6 setups and was doing 1 and started to panic. And they made up the rest of the day. The rest of the team pulled together and it was a real Hollywood uplifting story about him being able to make his days from then on out.
Aw.
Right. Well, he definitely succeeded there, but I think he failed the first step, which was make the movie fun, right?
Hey, there's dynamite that blows up watermelons.
Man, that old guy's throwing out dynamite like Mardi Gras beads from that fucking truck. How many does he have in there? So friend of the podcast, Eric, invited me over for some bro time to watch some movies. He had he had Mr. No Legs, the movie about the mob enforcer with no legs and has shotguns in the arms of his wheelchair. A movie called Pigs, and I was like, well, I'll do it, but you have to watch Grand Theft Auto with me.
Good.
And he said, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Did he know it wasn't based on the video game?
No, we're still friends though. So that's the warm, happy ending that Jack, on the other hand, because Jack recommended, he doesn't want to see Jack again.
Right. Well, I'm just glad that I'm able to maximize the infliction of this movie upon people because I watched it totally by accident. Other friend of the pod, my Uncle John, and I were trying to find The Driver with Ryan
Walter Hill
O'Neal.
movie. Yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Great movie. And somehow we stumbled upon this one from whatever shitty streaming algorithm was recommending things. And yeah, like I said earlier, the moment I watched it, I was like, I don't want to be alone in my misery right now. And I also introduced my uncle to the term lead paint humor, which he had never heard before, which I think Thomas coined.
Yeah.
And I went,
I use it all the time, Thomas.
Yeah. This is the Citizen Kane of lead paint humor, if nothing else.
I don't know. I think the ape movies are, but we're not at reactions yet. The derby that happens in this movie, because of course you need a smash them up at the end of your movie.
Demolition derbies. Man, why don't they have those anymore?
That at one point held a record for the most setups in one day. They did 82 setups.
Yeah, it's like a montage there at the end.
Which previously that was held by Hollywood Boulevard.
And Laverne and Shirley show up for like a 1-second cameo. Am I crazy, or is that Laverne and Shirley in the audience at the Demolition Derby? Or am I?
It might have been,
age?
but I missed it. If it was, I would have recognized them. Ken, don't worry.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan.
I have no idea who those are.
Yeah, don't worry.
It was a spin-off show from Happy Days.
Happy Days
was its own universe. Yeah.
I forgot to mention that Rance Howard was in Mr. No Legs, so we watched that right after Grand Theft Auto. What? And I was like, what the actual fuck? And it's weird because he has the greasiest, sweatiest. Everybody. It's made in Tampa, Florida, but he looks so much like Ron Howard in this movie. And I didn't even recognize him as being Ron Howard's dad in Grand Theft Auto, but in Mr. No Legs. And then when I came home after Pigs, my wife and I watched Splash because I hadn't seen that in decades. And Rance Howard's there in like the first 5 minutes. So I had a triple feature in one day.
Wow.
Was Clint Howard in that one? Because I know that Ron cast his brother in a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so much so that people wrote him mail, apparently. This is during the director commentary on Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, Jesus.
It's him. It's Ron Howard and Roger Corman, talking over the film. And they seem to enjoy it. Like, so I guess this humor might be of a generation. But he said that Ron Howard was saying that he had just finished up and won the Oscar for A Beautiful Mind, and it was getting mail that people were disappointed that his brother was not in the film.
Mm-hmm. I don't think this movie is funny, but it is in line with the Corman humor
aesthetic
of the era.
Agreed.
Yeah. And sometimes it works okay, like in Rock and Roll High School. Sometimes it's like this.
Or Death Race 2000, which is a very funny movie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And also has lots of car crashes.
It is really impressive how wholesome this movie is. And I think that's like something to track while watching these Howard movies is he's a pretty milquetoast. If I didn't have proof otherwise, he might be like the Mormon director.
Yeah, it's interesting because he is unafraid to say like cocksucker or other things during the book. They actually narrate it as well. So I'm reading it and listening to it. And his dad was always just very matter of fact with him about things. Like when he was in the Andy Griffith show, he saw like dicks squirting in the bathroom, not on the wall as graffiti. And he was like, "What is that, Dad?" And his dad just explained to him, "Well, those are testicles, and that's penis, and that's the seed that comes out. Men sometimes like to doodle when they're using the restroom. You should not do that, but some people do." And he's like, "Cool. I'm 5 years old. I can't read the script. I have to memorize all my lines, and that makes perfect sense." So his dad was just very much Midwestern down the line, not trying to hide anything from his sons as they were growing up. To that end, Ron Howard's persona is definitely one of G shucks. Like his whole, I just watched his intro to Saturday Night Live during season 3 of Saturday Night Live. And it's just him, like his monologue. He has a mustache, which is daring, and he still has his hair. And he says his opening monologue is like, you might know me from daytime television. I'm excited to be here at night where I can get away with a little bit more stuff. And he pulls out a sheet of paper and he like looks kind of gleefully and he says, "Duty." And he starts giggling. And he like repeats it, and then he gets carried away. He's like, "Okay, I'm sorry, I got carried away." And then he like says like prophylactics. Premarital sex, and so the whole idea is that this guy, his on-screen persona has always been this G shucks nostalgic figure of innocence.
But as we go through his movies, that kind of filters through his movies. I watched his second film, Night Shift, yesterday with the Fonz and Beetlejuice.
Holy shit! You know Harry Winkler? Which one is it?
And I watched it also with
right.
Beetlejuice and Diane from Cheers. And that movie's it came out a year before Risky Business. And Risky Business has a sense of danger and also sexiness about it that Howard just can't bring himself to bringing across to the viewer. It's so wholesome, despite the fact that it's like two guys in the titular Night Shift running a prostitution ring out of the city morgue.
Right.
Fucking spoilers, man.
That's like the first 30 minutes of the movie. Shut up. So you'd think by that entire premise right there, you think, oh, this is going to be some R-rated hijinks.
And maybe this is why
there's a little bit of nudity, but it is so sexless.
And is this maybe what Ryan is referring to when he calls Howard a bad hack? That this is something that is such a through line in his directorial efforts?
Or does it make him an auteur?
Yes, which would be a bad hack.
Yeah.
We can probably the Da Vinci Code episode will be the time to talk about, is Howard just a bad director?
Okay.
Okay.
That's a totally fair.
Yeah.
Because I personally think, and I came into this without many preconceptions, but then like rewatching Splash, which Splash is totally delightful. Most of it's aged fairly well. A few things haven't, but it has such a great dynamic. It has John Candy in one of the best scene stealing, best friend brother roles, and Tom Hanks is like, he's great. He's like a movie star, great, and Daryl. It's so fun, but it's also wholesome. Even the stuff with her becoming human and them fucking like rabbits for a couple of days. It's just presented in like a made for TV Disney movie kind of way that it doesn't really seem like they're fucking. You never really believe it, but you believe that they're in love like little kids.
Yeah.
It's like little kids play acting that they know what sex is, but they don't.
Did Spielberg also suffer from that from his first?
From every movie he's ever made?
No. I mean, maybe prior to the airplane movie that takes place in Oregon and other places where they drop water. I blocked the name of that movie out of my head forever.
I am still haunted by Eric Bana's
always remember
in Munich.
I was going to say, I think he makes up for his whole career by directing the best sex scene of all time in Munich.
Well, Spielberg's perversions lie elsewhere besides sex. So I don't think he's quite as wholesome as, just like he likes traumatizing kids.
Whoa! Wait, what?
Spielberg?
You mean through his movies? Let's clarify what you're saying.
Yes.
Oh,
wow.
And as a director, he is not wholesome. He's wholesome about sex,
right?
But in other things, he's very, the opposite.
Yeah.
Absentee fathers.
Just if you hear him talk about killing the kid at the beginning of Jaws,
right?
And how he really wanted to fuck everybody up with that. He knew that he was doing something.
You mean the kid in the floaty?
Yeah.
I mean that scene's still one of the.
I think the sadder thing is the dog. I think the saddest thing, also to get back on track, is that this movie is so boring and sucks so bad that we are dedicating our time to talking about literally anything else.
I don't think it's quite that bad. I think it's mostly harmless. I think in my Letterboxd review, which for some reason didn't save, I said it seems like a good movie. Say you're going to the drive-in to see. It's starring Ron Howard. It's got car crashes, and the entire time you're just making out.
Yeah.
And every 5 minutes you come up for air, and there's a car crash. You laugh, and then you go back to making out. I think on that level, this is a highly effective movie.
Yeah. If it were 20 minutes shorter, I would and it's only 84 minutes to begin with, so that's saying a lot. But if it were 20 minutes shorter, I would genuinely enjoy it.
Well, I think that the movie does a great thing of just getting on the road very quickly.
Yeah.
And the premise is pretty interesting of having a bounty out, and we're talking a little bit about plot now, having a bounty out by, who puts the first bounty? Is it
It's Big B Powers.
It's the dad whose daughter's eloping?
Yeah, I believe so.
And then the second bounty is the mom. Okay.
Marion Ross, who played Ron Howard's mom on Happy Days.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah.
Who gets tackled by the cop at one point?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because on that setup or in that shoot, they were losing daylight, so they didn't give her any pads, and so the cop tackles her onto gravel, and she just takes it.
Oh,
yeah,
that's professionalism.
I liked her playing kind of a nasty character. All thing I've ever seen her in was Happy Days. So seeing her kind of be a crazy rich woman, I think was mildly amusing. Okay, raise of hands. Can I do a raise of hands? Who here paused the movie at one point and then said, "How is there blank number of minutes still left?"
I think that's part of the genius. Yeah. Because the movie gets going, like you are on the road, I think within the first 5 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like less than that even. There's one scene before she steals the car.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she steals her dad's car, which is a Rolls Royce, right?
Yeah.
The Big B license plate.
Big B.
It's a good
and
name.
leaves her car up on blocks so that the dad can't come after her. But okay, so there's that. There's the reward for them that I guess her dad puts out. Then there's the reward that her fiance, or he thinks he's her fiance, but he's not actually her fiance.
Yeah.
Who's chasing them? Who's the schmuck who's rich and is wearing like a jockey outfit or a polo outfit?
The entire
time?
movie.
Yeah, I love
Thomas
it.
Edworth's character.
Uh-huh.
He's chasing them. So his mom, which is Ron Howard's mom in Happy Days, I'm told, puts a bounty or a reward out for capturing him to prevent him from being injured by chasing them, I guess. Anyhow, there's a radio jockey who eventually gets into a helicopter and has blown up their spot, telling them where they're at. This is before Google Maps and the chips that the COVID vaccine put in our heads. So you could only track by helicopter. And there's so many people. Like, what's wild to me was I was wondering, like, how, like, when you pause the film, going, "Holy shit! How is there more movie?" They just keep finding ways of throwing more people at them, including mobsters at one point.
Mobsters run by Gary Marshall when they call to Las Vegas. That's his boss at Happy Days.
I didn't recognize him, but yeah, I just saw that he was in it. Fuck.
His brother Clint is a grease monkey who chases after him with some other doofus comedian, try and take him out. But the other crazy thing is how everybody changes vehicles.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's this whole shtick of everybody's cars are crashing and being destroyed, but somehow they get a new car, and it's shown, unlike, I don't know, a Fast and Furious movie. Jack, I think I'd love this film if it were reactions. I think this is...
Did you really?
No.
Okay, good.
I thought it was harmless. I didn't hate it. I didn't really like it, though. Although Eric and I were talking, and then we were like looking up the cute girl who plays Ron Howard's fiance. It was like, I've never seen her anything, read about her career while the movie's playing.
Yeah.
We're looking up Marion Ross, how old she was when she made this movie, 48. And,
absolutely. That's the other thing is it's definitely a much better movie if you're watching it with someone and you can be bullshitting while it's playing in the background. Then I could see how it's harmless. But if you're sitting alone in the cold light of your computer screen in your bedroom watching this stoic, stone-faced after a long day at work by yourself because you have to, because you wanted to make everyone else watch it. It's a much different experience, which is completely my own fault.
I do think that gets at something fascinating, and Ken alluded to it earlier, but at the time this was made, there were a lot of kids who just went to the drive-in on Friday night or Saturday night and didn't even think about what was going to be on, right? Because they were there to make out or to socialize or to get high. And this is kind of the perfect movie for that, because you show up, like somebody said, every 5 minutes you come up for air and there's just another car crash, and then you can go back to doing whatever else you were doing. Right. And it's this... We don't make movies anymore that are basically, the premise is like to kill some time,
But we do make second screeners.
Yeah, this is like an early version of the second screener.
Yeah.
Which I think
for those of us who were born, I don't know, this century, what does that mean?
That means a movie you don't have to pay attention to, and they keep reminding you where they are in the story. So,
I thought it was an old-fashioned term, like the recruitment ads, or like how the boys are doing in the war.
Zoomer, your generation invented second screening, so I'm very disappointed.
No, I understand exactly what you're talking about now.
All right, so Thomas thinks this is the greatest action movie of all time. Ryan, Jack, and I don't like it.
I wouldn't say I don't. I think what I was thinking when I was watching this last night is that the best thing about this movie is that it probably makes a very compelling argument for total nuclear annihilation of the human race. And I was thinking, like, if I was the main chick in like the 3-Body Problem, who's like, yeah, I saw my dad killed by the communists or whatever, I'm totally done with the human race. I'm going to do everything I can to get the aliens to wipe out humanity. I'm going to put my life towards that. if that were me, I would show them Grand Theft Auto, and I think it would work. I just don't think there's a single redeeming. I don't think there's a single second of this movie where there's even a flicker of hope in my heart or a smile on my face. I just think it's totally, completely awful. It might be the worst movie I've ever seen.
Okay.
There are so many practical car crashes, though.
Can I record that and just that will be, I guess, sit out next week? I'll just replay that.
Yeah, I don't care if you can make a bunch of practical car crashes this boring. You're not a good director. I wouldn't even classify you as a director.
And narratively, it is so. The fact that the girl drives, not that she can't drive the entire movie, not that girls can't drive, but just like they're in the car for like 50 minutes of the movie and nothing really changes except they make some phone calls and they skid some people out.
Yeah.
And really it's nothing like I was thinking, oh, they're going to get separated somehow. And then he's going to have to drive a different car to get her car, all that kind of fun stuff. But no, they stop at a junkyard. He gets in driver's seat. That's the only the only thing that changes until they get married. Well, they go into a demolition derby, but
in every way, they're the most boring characters.
He is like the least. He's a protagonist that does the least. He's not pushing.
I don't know if he's supposed to be the protagonist. I think she might be.
She is. Right. I guess based on the first scene, you could say that.
Based on screen time, but Ron Howard's name is above the title, so.
Well, Amy Adams' name's going to be above the title next week, and we'll talk about that.
Along the lines of the wholesomeness conversation, I don't know if they say it, but it seems like the main couple is specifically eloping so they can have sex. Like, I don't think they have yet.
No, they have, because remember he says, hey, you want to pull off the side of the road and fool around, which is pretty bold for a Ron Howard movie. And she says, no. And he says, you sure? And then they laugh and keep driving. That's as lurid as it gets, I think.
Yeah.
So here's the question I had as I was watching the movie, though.
Why?
In a way, this is before my time, and I'm not my history drops off at certain points. I have dark periods, where my expertise are. But so the late 70s is not one of the ones that I have. Was marriage at the time, as the act of getting married, was it such that if you missed your window and you didn't go through with it, you just couldn't get married again? Or I know that they set something up with a preacher at a certain time, but they're going to Vegas, and it seems like in Vegas you could just get married whenever.
Well, maybe she's knocked up. I don't know.
But even then, you have a day, right? Like you don't have to. Like you could just pull off on the side of the road and camp out for a while, or get married anywhere else. Or
why the ticking time clock, which we'll get again next week in our other movie. There's also
I think she wants to stop being harassed about marrying this other guy. I think that's the only motivation given.
Yeah, they're forcing her to do it because an election's coming up, blah, blah, blah. They're rich. Let's stick it to the man. I don't think it's that complicated.
Sure, but it just seems like they have to do it then, right? Like it's like a race against time, but the race against time,
of all the absurd plot points in this movie, I just praise you for picking out this one to take apart.
I was going to be very upset about this film because the song that they play on the hard media disc on the DVD over the title is the song from whenever they start to meet the people with the dynamite. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, this is a pretty funky soundtrack. It's not this country hillbilly shit that comes in towards the middle.
Okay.
And so whenever I heard it, I was getting Any Which Way ape movie flashbacks. I was like, oh, this is gonna be fucking terrible. And I do think, for my 2 cents, this is better than the sequel to
Wow. That to me is crazy because at least that movie has a monkey.
And it has like a 20-minute
cape.
fight scene.
Yeah.
A 20-minute fight scene that half of the America comes to small town in Wyoming to watch.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking cool. Go listen to that episode right now.
Every Which Way But Loose is the first one, and Any Which Way You Can is the second one.
And then
Yeah.
the third one is
Either which way you go.
Either Which Way You Go. Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate that there was that the driving force in this is a woman, and she makes a song.
I really think you're reaching here. I'm sorry for anything nice to say.
Okay. So I also got a second book from the Montgomery County Library.
Shout out.
But actually, I had to borrow this one interlibrary. They didn't have it on hand. But it's
Reverse shout out.
from 2003, and it's by Beverly Gray. And one of the things that the critics said at the time, as probably the best of the write-ups, and this was for the New York Times, nobody who's ever wanted to see a Rolls Royce in a demolition derby is going to walk away from this movie disappointed. So the critics weren't really into it, but
Right.
it was very financially successful.
Before we end this episode, blissfully short. So I want to ask a question around the horn about Ron Howard going into the season before you watch a single one. What was, you don't have to go over your general impression, but what's your favorite Ron Howard before we started this? Just off the top of your head.
Ooh.
Oh, you know what? You know what I was going to say at the end of this episode, I think?
What?
Or maybe the next one, was like a personal fuck you to Jack, because we could have watched, which I haven't seen yet, that movie with Donald Glover in it, and it's the Han Solo movie,
Yeah,
Mhm.
Solo.
which I haven't seen, and we could have watched that, right? Or I could have watched Willow, which I love.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm still a Splash fan. That's like his third movie. It's probably still my favorite.
Yeah.
Ryan?
It's tough because I probably saw everything he made between Splash and I did not see A Beautiful Mind, but I'm sure I saw everything in that run. But I haven't seen any of it in so long. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to say Apollo 13, but Ransom was pretty good. Ransom was not a bad movie. I wasn't
Yeah.
upset I was watching that one.
He did. For a couple years, he stumbled into prestige filmmaking and got to work with some really good screenwriters.
Ransom is fascinating because he does great with the drama, but it's about kidnapping a child and ransoming the child. And whenever he has to do that gritty, 90s stuff, it's almost more sadistic because you could tell he's not good at it.
Yeah.
And he's just like thinking like he's rolling the camera and then calling cut and is like, I don't know, is this what people want to see? Like, should
Oh,
we torture
shucks.
the little kid more? Is that what people like? So
Did you have a favorite Howard other than Arrested Development?
Well, no, I mean, this is the very reason I picked him, is because even when I first watched Grand Theft Auto and saw his name, it was like, that can't be Ron Howard. Like, it's got to be a different
Wow.
Ron Howard. I think the only movie of his I've seen before these two was the Solo movie. And
Wow.
even that was something where I was like, I didn't know the guy from Arrested Development made movies. Yeah, that's always who I've known him as, is the narrator. And I think so far from what I've seen, any of his movies are visually, thematically, whatever, so indistinguishable and so just kind of lame that I think he's a pretty good hack. I don't know.
Yeah.
When we get to Da Vinci Code, I've noticed some of his signature moves visually, but they're not really in
Okay.
these first two movies, so we'll avoid talking about that for now. But I do think there are a couple signature moves that are fairly boring, but he does like to do them. And I am excited about seeing Cocoon again because I fucking loved that movie when I was 7. And I haven't seen it since I was 12. So
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited about that one.
I probably haven't seen it since I was 13 or 14 years old.
Well, and that's the other thing, is he has been making movies for this long, since 77, right? Grand Theft Auto. And the majority of them have been pretty huge, very commercially successful, but just nothing. I mean, I think even whatever the hell, the one you were just talking about, Beautiful Mind, I think that was a big Oscar movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, that won Best Picture and Best Actor, I think, for...
Yeah, but there's nothing really about him as a director that has like a cultural footprint where you'll hear someone talking about, ooh, the new Ron Howard movie's coming out.
Yeah.
I do think that Ron Howard is a brand, though, a little bit like Spielberg, and I think he's just a little safer than Spielberg.
Yeah,
even though he's done Ransom and he's done, I mean, Parenthood isn't a raunchy comedy, but it is.
He's more of a brand, like you would say, like they play in the old folks' home. He's an old folks' home brand. Where you put on one of his movies in the background. It's like, oh, is that the Beautiful Mind or the one where Russell Crowe's boxing?
Yeah.
No, it's the one with Mel Gibson.
I mean, part of the reason I loved Cocoon is because my grandparents took me to see it, and we would sometimes watch it after that, and it was like the plot of that made it a direct connection between generations, you know? Like,
yeah.
Was it your grandparents taking you or something else? Is that what that movie's about?
You'll have to wait and see.
It's so wild. You're gonna. I can't wait to see.
Oh, you've never seen Cocoon before, Jack?
No. Like I said, Solo is the only one of these I've really seen.
Oh, okay.
Of his movies. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about anything else other than Grand Theft Auto, and I really hope, as long as I live, I will never have to watch even a second of this movie again.
Which is a pull quote too long to put on the poster, unfortunately.
Roger Corman told Ron Howard, he said, look, if you do a good job, you never have to work for me again.
Yep, that's a classic Roger Corman.
Yeah, and so it cost $650,000 to make, and it earned $6 million. And Ron Howard never worked with Roger Corman again.
Yeah, but it would be a number of years before Night Shift, like 5 years. And pretty much after Night Shift, he's pumped out a movie every 2 to 3 years, like clockwork ever since. He's like Eastwood and Spielberg of the same era, where it just seems like every fucking year there's another movie from these guys. And they're all like big studio movies with stars.
Yeah.
And I think on the level of hacks, Ron Howard's probably the most indistinguishable out of those three directors.
I kind of wonder if his production partner, Brian Grazer, is a huge part of the equation for him being such a brand in the 80s and 90s.
Well, they've been joined at the hip. Brian Grazer, if you don't know, is a guy who at a very young age went to a barber and said, give me a haircut so nobody will ever ask me to babysit their kids.
Okay, let me look
and
this
the
up.
barber was like, done, motherfucker.
That's true. He looks like he got really high on cocaine and then stuck a fork in the socket.
and then froze.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah.
But I would say one reason for that is, I didn't realize this, but Happy Days went on until 85, 84?
Yeah.
Show. So when I saw that television show, I thought it took place in the 50s.
Yes, it did.
It does, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I thought it was shot in the 50s.
Oh, no.
And
it was
so
part
I
of
didn't
the
realize
whole...
it was part of this whole nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a...
So is Laverne and Shirley also take place in the past?
Yeah. Laverne and Shirley also set in the 50s. Maybe
actually,
the early 60s.
Thomas, the last episode of Happy Days, Arthur Fonzarelli, played by Henry Winkler, comes up with the "I'd like to teach the world" Coke jingle, which Matthew Weiner ripped off from Mad Men.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, Happy Days went on forever and was an institution. And since you guys maybe are not as familiar with the show as Ken and I are, the phrase and concept of jump the shark is literally an episode of Happy Days where Fonzie gets on some water skis,
right? Oh, really?
Yeah, he's water skis while wearing his leather jacket, and he jumps over a shark as part of like a Evel Knievel type stunt.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I didn't realize that was from Happy Days, though.
Yeah. And that is really, I mean, the show fucking sucks after that.
It gets pretty bad.
Doesn't Fonzie have a mini-me?
Yeah, I think he does at
is
one
he like a
point.
Scrappy Doo?
Anyway, are we done talking about Grand Theft Auto?
Please.
Thomas, do you have any other 5 out of 5 stars?
I would say that this film does a great job of having very distinct characters. Like you have a preacher, you have a cop, you have a bus driver, you have the dude in the jockey polo outfit, you have the grease monkeys, you have the mobsters, you have the private detectives, you have the disc jockey, and they all have their own cars and they're all distinct, but those cars get switched up and they it become like a ice cream truck. This just seems like a great movie if I had like severe brain trauma.
You know what? Your natural hard baked contrarianism is really going to be put to the test next week, I feel.
Again, I wouldn't say this is my favorite film of Ron Howard's even, right? But I would say that it is in competition with the other stupid fucking late 70s car movies.
Okay.
Well,
You're a fan of Willow, just so we could, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, like, I see where Thomas is coming from, because Rock and Roll High School with the Ramones is not much. The humor isn't much sharper than this, but I really still like that one, you know.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
which is another Corman movie.
If you're sick of hearing us talk an hour by a movie that's not very good, just wait till next week. we got something for you. Hillbilly Elegy.
we might have some disagreement in the ranks about this one. Who knows?
Uh-huh.
We're gonna own the libs, right? Next week.
Yes.
You're welcome for making me watch this, you guys.
Who knows? Maybe this might be the great reassessment of watching a movie during COVID, like Hillbilly Elegy, and then you watch it 6 years later, and you're like, holy shit, how did I get it so wrong?
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed the mute.
No, that was great. That's the ending.
That's exactly how I feel.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, hopefully you feel better in a week, Ryan.
Me too. If not, man, that's a long haul.
All right, hopefully Ryan will be with us next week.
All right. Running a temporal piston. Running a temporal. Yeah, piston. In space. Time. Running a temporal piston. Running a temporal. Yeah, piston. In space. Time. Running a temporal piston. Running a temporal. Yeah, piston. In space.
This movie is so boring and sucks so bad that we are dedicating our time to talking about literally anything else.
It came out the same year. It's really interesting that this feels like the Asylum version of Smokey and the Bandit in a lot of ways.
Right.
If I didn't have proof otherwise, he might be like the Mormon director.
If there was ever a man who started off as a boy, it's Ron Howard.
He's like one of the iconic directors from my childhood. Jack, and for you, he's the guy from Arrested Development.
Cast a Velvet Net.
Don fucking Knotts, man.
No, that's the one with Mel Gibson.
We're gonna own the libs, right? Next week.
Do 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 do.